My name is Pedro Leale, and I'm going to present a proposal for an open source Bitcoin forensics tool. I'm a computer science student from UFO. So, Bitcoin, conceived in 2008, is one of the examples of all cryptocurrencies. It has witnessed an exponential surge in its acclaim over recent years. However, the adoption of this technology is not without its pitfalls, because it encompasses the potential for exploitation in these illicit endeavors. And to counteract these pitfalls, the development of analytical forensic tools comes into play. The goal of this endeavor is to establish a pipeline between open source intelligence, or OSINT, and Bitcoin heuristics to make an open source tool for forensic analysis. Just a briefing about the economic and behavioral aspects. Since its inception, Bitcoin has been adopted by millions, and it has already been used to make significantly large transactions. It creates an environment that runs a lot of money, and it has an inherent freedom and higher level of anonymity compared to traditional currency like banks and traditional currency. And it makes it attractive, made Bitcoin attractive for illegal activities. So I'm going now to talk about OSINT. It's not originally conceived to satisfy military requisites for public domain strategic intelligence. It's basically a technique that for extracting information from public domains. It can be used for criminal investigations, and it has already been used to assist on criminal investigation related to cryptocurrencies. It's basically forms to extract information and try to filter it to narrow down potential entities. And the other side of the pipeline, Bitcoin heuristics. The Bitcoin forensic analysis is possible through heuristics because of two characteristics. First, the ledger system, and second, the unspent transaction outputs system. The ledger system, creates trust between transactions and allowing you to, like, once a transaction is made, it can never be removed. It is on the blockchain forever, generating trust, because every new block of transactions needs the other ones to be mined. And the unspent transaction outputs, they represent an invisible amount of Bitcoin. They are outputs from transactions that are linked to users' accounts. So the sum of the balance of each user is the sum of all unspent transaction outputs linked to their addresses. Now about the clustering itself. Once you have the ledger system and the unspent transaction outputs, you can run some algorithms. We call them heuristics, H1, H2, H3, and so on and so forth. These clusterization algorithms gathers addresses that can relate to the same entity. For example, the heuristic H1 or the multi-input heuristics. It checks if in two different transactions they have at least one address in common. So if they have, it will cluster all of the input addresses because it will understand that they have the same owner. This is just one of the heuristics. There are much more, but the idea is there are algorithms that can cluster to try to narrow down potential entities using the blockchain. And our pipeline comes into this part because the idea is we get an initial set of predetermined suspect addresses into a clusterization algorithm, such as H1. And then we will cluster a bigger set, hopefully a bigger set of addresses. We will make a a common economical analysis between all these transactions, and try to use OSINT techniques to search on the internet for the potential entity itself to make the forensic analysis. The clusterization part will be made in Rust, using a data structure that integrates a Bloom filter and a search tree to optimize the heuristics, optimizing intersection and union operations. And the OSINT component will be implemented in Python and will incorporate web scraping techniques because it will look through social networks, public forums. It will look into APIs that allow us to get public information, look at the blockchain to see like addresses that only connects to exchanges to try to narrow down the potential entities that committed illicit transactions. And we propose this tool to be open source because we want to have an impact in decreasing the illicit use of Bitcoin. We believe that with an open source tool like this, we have an increase in the Bitcoin forensic community, and we'll diminish this idea that Bitcoin is fully anonymous and people can do whatever type of transaction with it. We want to diminish this idea of illicit use. And that's it. Do you have any questions?